What is the best whiskey you've ever had? Can you think of your top 10 list? The best 10 whiskeys that you ever had in your life. What comes to mind? Well, in this episode, I'm going to give you my top 10 whiskeys that I've ever had. And so stay tuned on this episode of Whisk-Eats. So like we mentioned, top 10 whiskeys that I've ever had. Not of this year, but I'm literally giving you the best whiskeys that I've ever had. Now, these are my favorites. I have not had everything, and I'm sure there's stuff that I have yet to have that will probably bump these off my list. And I'm not quite sure yet, but these are my top 10 lists. And I'm going to give you my number 10. Then it comes out of Brown-Forman. It is a single barrel strength pick from Wine Palace in Livonia, Michigan. And this stuff right here is absolutely phenomenal. It is incredible. It is truly a delicious sip. It really is heavy on the banana. It's hot, believe it or not. When you first tap into it, boy, does that heat hit you, because it is 129 proof, I believe. Yeah, 129.2, 64.6 alcohol. So it is a barrel strength. And so if you let it sit, maybe drop a few drops of water in it. I like a cube in it too as well to kind of pull away, and it really opens up that whiskey a little bit more. And sometimes I even drink it neat, but it is truly an incredible pour. And as you can see, I had this since 2022 or 2021, but I've been slowly working my way down. I like to preserve my whiskey as long as I can. Old Foysters are, generally speaking, a phenomenal pour. Well, this one from Wine Palace, they did an excellent job with selecting it, so I had to put this in my top 10 list. This is my number 10 of the best whiskeys I've ever had. Now, number 9 is controversial, and I already know it. I'm going to admit it, and I'm just going to tell you, this one is straight Riverset Rye. I got this down in Houston, Texas at Grand Liquor, and I can't even find them no more. I don't even know if they changed their name or what, but it was down in Houston, Texas. So Grand Liquor, if you're out there, please reach out to me, connect with me through my email. I would love to get in touch with you. I would love to have another bottle of this. This stuff was absolutely incredible. And it would have made it higher, but I had to really think about it. Do I want to put this higher than some other ones? I had to honestly say I didn't want to, but it could have beat it out. If I did a blind, I may have came this way. So this was a phenomenal pour. It was very reasonably priced. It was only like maybe $50. It is a 5-year unfiltered cask strength blend from Memphis, Tennessee, and it's 117 proof. Riverset, they're doing some excellent stuff. This is a store pick, and so I don't know if the regular cask strength tastes the same, but this one right here, bon appetit. Chef's kiss, as they say. Incredible. So this is number 9 on my list. All right, number 8. This is none other than Rhetoric 24 Orphan Barrel. This stuff is crazy delicious. You're going to get some cola notes in there. You're going to get those prune, brown sugar, deep brown sugar notes in there. It brings you into a lot of different areas. And from what I hear, Orphan Barrel, what they do is they take a lot of barrels from different distilleries and they do blends. And so I'm guessing the oldest whiskey in this is 24 years. But it is truly an incredible whiskey. And I believe it's not that high of a proof. At least it doesn't drink that way. Let me see if I can find it here fast. It is 24 years. Oh, it's only 90 proof. Yes, it doesn't drink hot. It's almost like drinking some cola. It's absolutely incredible. So this is my number 8 whiskey on my list. And as you can see, I've had this probably about 3 or 4 years as well. And I'm just slowly working my way down. I like to preserve my really, really, really good juices for special occasions and things of that nature. So that is my number 8 bottle on my top 10 list. Now we're gonna go to number 7. The number 7, to me, now y'all see me rave about this one a lot. This JPY is a 24 year. And the reason why I rave about it a lot is because I actually was very surprised at how delicious it was. You're gonna get, it's not really overly complex. You're gonna get your traditional rye tasting. So you're gonna get that orange sickle, you're gonna get that lemon zest. but it's just rich. You know, it's got like some vanilla and caramel in there, maybe a drizzle of toffee, possibly, from what I remember. But it is a honey bomb, and it is absolutely delicious. It's very mouth coating. They did an excellent job, and for what I hear, they don't even char their barrels. They season them. You should let them out in the sun for like a year or something like that, and it just, you get that oak in there too as well. So I like what they're doing over there in Canada at JP Weiser. That's why I made number 7 on my top 10 whiskeys that I've ever had. This is absolutely incredible, at least to me. I don't know if you had it yet, but if you have, let me know what you think about this one in particular. Try to hold on to this as long as I can. All right, so that moves us right along to our number 6. My number 6 one I don't have, and I've only had a pour of it, right? I've had I think it was an ounce or 2 ounce pour, and it was Weller 4 Proof. I got it at the Rabbit Hole this past year, and it was stupid delicious. It was absolutely incredible. I remember being full body. It just had like a nice, rich thickness to it. Give you that traditional Buffalo Trace cherry note that you get into it, but it was very intense. Kind of reminded me of like 107, but it just had so much more going on in it. So I had to put it in my top 10 list, and I remember it being better than the ones before. So although I only had a pour of it, it made my top 10 list. So my lips is chapped. Hold on one second. Man, it's cold in Michigan right now. That gives you that beeswax. Stuff is good, man. It keeps your lip nice and moist. Sorry, probably about pause. Forgive me for the 10-second application I had to apply on my own lips.
Pause.
But anyway, that moves us right along to our next one on the list, our number 5 best whiskey that I've ever had. And to me, this one falls right in that boat. That's the 2023 Michter's 10-year rye. Incredible juice right here. Michter's, shame on you for not sending me a free bottle, unless you want to. No, I'm joking. This stuff is absolutely delicious. This to me is more of a bourbon than it is a rye, and that's just my humble opinion. You're gonna get those caramel, those toffee notes. You're gonna get that vanilla, but it does get some of those rye spices in there too as well, and then the citrus notes. But to me, it drank more like a bourbon than anything else. But this is absolutely incredible. Michter's 10-year rye. You cannot go wrong with this one. That's why it's number 5 on my list, the best whiskeys that I've ever had. Michter's 10-year rye. Now, that moves us up to number 4. The number 4, when I run out of this, I'm gonna cry. The Hibiki 17. Now, I got this through a trade. I did a trade with a guy. There was no way I was able to find this one. I found this through a trade, and it was absolutely incredible. I didn't forget what I traded the guy. I don't even remember what we traded for, but I've had it probably about 3 or 4 years now. And this one right here, man, slapping. That's all I'm gonna say is slapping. This is ridiculous. It's not a high proof. It's not gonna blow your palate away, but it's just rich with flavor. It kind of reminds you of the Harmony a little bit more, but just a little bit more bite to it, a little bit more oak driven. So a little bit more going on in it. It is truly a delicious, to me, a one-in-a-lifetime pour. I probably would never, ever, ever see something like this again. I was grateful that I was able to get it. And yeah, Hibiki 17. As you can see, it's a little darker than a regular Hibiki. This is the regular. So you can see that age definitely shows up in the color. I don't know if you can tell, but I can definitely tell from my angle. But it's the regular Hibiki, which is truly, if you can find this one, trust me, incredible. And if you had this one before, let me know what you think. Stupid good. All right, so that is my number 4th whiskey. That brings us to number 3. Now, number 3, I fumbled on which one that I wanted to put first. Did I wanted to do this one, or did I wanted to do the other one? The other one is I don't have, and that's the one I did. The one I don't have is the George T. Stagg 2023. So at Rabbit Hole this year, some friends of ours, we went to a speakeasy and had a pour of a George T. Stagg, and it was absolutely incredible. I mean, you get those dark cherry notes in there. It does have a strong finish in the back, but the molasses taste that you get on that front palate, that cola note, I just remember being very, very delicious. And the first time I had George T. Stagg, tell y'all a quick story. So the very first time I had George T. Stagg, I got invited over to my friend Bob's house, and he was telling me, he said, "Hey, Terrance, I want you to try this whiskey." Now, this is before I used to drink whiskey neat. He said, "I got this real high-end whiskey I want you to try." I'm like, "Okay, sure, why not, you know?" So when I tasted it, he pulled it out of the cabinet. He poured me a nice, heavy pour. And I was like, "Ooh!" Didn't like it. Oh, man, it was disgusting to me. I did not like it. So Bob took it. He was like, "Man, give me that drink." "Bob, if you're watching this show, can I get my pour back, man?" So I had it recently this year, and it was absolutely phenomenal. So that just goes to show that sometimes our taste buds have to acclimate. You gotta work your way. And that was probably about 10 to 12 years ago now, that I think about it. At the very least 10 years ago, that I had the first time I had George T. Stagg that I didn't like. I almost wanted to spit it out. But it's absolutely incredible. It made my top 10 list, and I made it number 3. If I had a bottle, it'd probably be at number 2 or number 1, but I only had a pour of it. And I remember a lot of good things about it, but I couldn't put it above number 2. Now, number 2 is none other than
Pause again.
Those who know that song, shame on you for watching Little Mermaid when you was younger.
What? What?
I had 2 sisters, man. I had to watch that stuff.
Whatever, Little Mermaid Man fan.
All right, so anyway, so check this out. This is none other than Chateau de la Borde, Bardstown, the collaboration series. I'm telling you, y'all, wow. When I say wow, I mean wow. This is the best finished whiskey I've ever had in my life. This stuff is absolutely incredible. You're gonna get a lot of those heavy prune, those dark fruit notes, the cherry. Then it got a huge wave of cinnamon and honey. Like you just take honey and just ride on the back of the cinnamon. It rises all the way through that drink. The finish is absolutely incredible. Everything about this is very mouth coating. It starts off sweet. The middle is sweet, and the finish is sweet. It is truly a delicious sip. Every time I go into it and tap into it, and it's different. I've had this about 2 years now. You see these, grab them because they're one of the lifetime pours. Anything from Bardstown that says collaboration series, meaning that it will probably never ever be made again. So you'll always have something special when it comes to buying something from Bardstown. And this one is my favorite that I've ever had. That is my number 2. Now, some of y'all already know what my number 1 is, and some of you don't know. But just give me a second here. Let me put this back up in its proper place, because number 2 deserves to be put back up in its proper place with its little, little bed of hay. Yep, you go back on in there, buddy. Yep, you deserve it. And the only reason why number 1 is not in that box, because it couldn't fit. But anyway, number 1 whiskey that I've ever had in my life. I don't have any more. None other than William LaRue Weller. Actually, I do got a drop in there. There's one little drop, little speck. William LaRue Weller. Man. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Yeah. Best whiskey I ever had in my life. And I want to say this is the 2021 or 2020. I had to I got some papers to go with it too. As soon as I find the papers, maybe I'll do like a little short to show you. It came with papers. Okay, with like a little, I tore that off and messed up the, they call it like a foil thing it had on there, messed up, so I just took it off. This thing was absolutely incredible. It is rich. It is, if you were ever to say whiskey is thick, tasting notes is thick, this is this. It's thick with like just some dark fruit notes. It's got that cherry note in there. I'm talking about a dark cherry. It's got heather honey, molasses, custard. Oh man, dark red fruits. It's got a buttery cream feel to it. Although it's hot, it is so approachable. Believe it or not, you never need to lighten it up. You never need to put anything in it. You can just sip on it like I used to do. And I don't even think I shared this one. I'm sorry, y'all. I've never. I shared everything up here, I believe. Yep, everything up here I shared. This is the only. Oh, I did. I did do an affinity blend of whiskeys. Then I gave some friends, so it has a sample of this stuff in it. So I did share this particular whiskey. I did put like maybe probably about an ounce or half an ounce into that blend to kind of bring that flavor notes all the way up. And we'll show you what I did on another episode sometime. But this stuff right here, if you ever come across a bottle of this is the best whiskey I've ever had. I don't think personally nothing could beat it. I don't think nothing I ever have in my life will ever beat this. And so what we're going to do in the future episode, we're going to rank our whiskeys from my top 10 whiskeys. This one will probably be either 99 or 100. So that's what we're going to do. Put my ranking, let you know right where they fall at. And they're up for battle. There's other whiskeys if I have and they're better, they'll knock them out of their place. And so that's what we're going to do. Thank y'all for watching another episode of Whisk-Eats. And like we always say, please always drink moderately and responsibly. Y'all have a good day.